I'm slightly amused. There's been a few comments. What's happened to the to Wilmore and Williams stranded on the space station? Because we heard so much about their getting a lift back, and then we didn't hear anything about whether or not they'd made it back. Well, it was covered on American television, but European, British television didn't seem to think it was worth bothering about. But the American public was quietly treated to the safe return of the two spacefarers, the NASA astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. They were rescued after spending more than 9 months aboard the International Space Station. Their ordeal began with a planned week-long test flight aboard Boeing's Starliner in June 2024, intended to showcase American technological prowess, but it quickly unraveled into a cautionary tale of malfunction, delay, and general awkwardness. And they're now home thanks not to Boeing, but to Elon Musk's SpaceX Dragon capsule, which splashed down off the coast of Florida, ending what can best be described as a high-altitude hostage situation. What went wrong? Wilmore and Williams were in the flight crew on Boeing's long-delayed Starliner spacecraft, a test flight crucial to NASA's goal of diversifying launch vehicles under its commercial crew program. Unfortunately, that spacecraft developed helium leaks and thruster issues while approaching the ISS, and it was considered too risky to bring them back, so it returned to Earth empty, while the astronauts waited in orbit for months. SpaceX, Elon Musk's aerospace enterprise and Boeing's direct competitor, ultimately stepped in. Its Dragon capsule, Crew 10, arrived last week, bringing new astronauts and offering Wilmore and Williams a ride home. And this dramatic rescue begs a number of questions, not just technical or managerial, but legal, ethical and political. International law has historically treated astronauts as envoys of humankind. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty and 1968 Rescue Agreement commit signatory states to take all possible steps to rescue astronauts in distress, regardless of nationality. But these treaties were designed in an era of Cold War Cold War negotiations and concerns, when only nation states launched missions and space was a theatre for superpower rivalry, not commerce. Today, private actors dominate the launch pad. SpaceX, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic and others are sending not only astronauts but celebrities. William Shatner, Jeff Bezos, and soon Katy Perry and Gayle King into suborbital or orbital missions. And here lies the grey area. Are these space tourists entitled to the same protections as astronauts are entitled to? If a private company fails to retrieve its own crew, does the state step in? Which state? Is there a duty to rescue someone whose presence in space is contractual, not national? And the Williams-Wilmore mission was meant to be routine, test Boeing's spacecraft, validate its systems and return within a week. Instead, it exposed both technical fragility and political discomfort. In a post-landing press conference, NASA officials were asked about rumors specifically spread by Trump and Musk that the Biden administration deliberately delayed the astronauts' return for political reasons. The suggestion is absurd. But the fact it gained traction reveals a deeper malaise that even space, that sublime realm of collective endeavour, has become politically polarised, politically poisoned. When the lines blur between public missions and private capital, between democratic oversight and billionaire-led branding exercises, Teslas on the lawn, we must ask who benefits and who is accountable when things go wrong. Astronauts like Wilmore and Williams undergo years of elite training. They know the perils. They embody the Apollo-era spirit of exploration, discipline and service. But what of the civilian spacefarer? Are we prepared to confront the ethical implications of selling tickets to orbit without a robust rescue infrastructure? Would Jeff Bezos leave a stranded celebrity floating above Earth to preserve Amazon's quarterly profits? Without legal reform, some experts warn, private space companies could ask tourists to waive their right to rescue, a prospect that would make even a Victorian sea captain blush. The successful return of Wilmore and Williams is a testament to NASA's resilience and SpaceX's technological maturity. It's also a red flag. The existing international legal framework is not equipped to handle privatized space economy where spacecraft are branded, monetized, and subject to launch delays because of litigation or market forces. If we're serious about inhabiting this final frontier, we need a new compact, one that places human safety above profit and updates the law to reflect 21st century reality. The story of these two astronauts caught up in delay and obfuscation is a happy one in the end, but as we hurl ourselves into the cosmos populated by tourists, tycoons and Teslas, we must remember space may be silent, but legal and moral ambiguity should not be silent.